to the After Hours Lounge on 1620 The Zone, the 1620 The Zone app, and 1620thezone.com. When 6A to 6P isn't enough, the boys have you covered. Here's Jimmy Allen and John Schreiner.
31. We are 31 days away from kickoff in Kansas City, and
Jimmy,
fall camp is underway.
Football season has now started.
It has officially begun after it officially started last week. It now officially started, and now it will not officially start until the 28th of August. But the After Hours Lounge has officially started. You can follow the show at After Hours 1620 on Twitter. We got a great show lined up for you tonight. Our top 3 storylines heading into fall camp that we are the most interested in. We'll get to those. Deion Sanders called a press conference today. He is not leaving Boulder. We'll discuss that. Also, North Carolina, Miami, Louisville, and Virginia apparently have all pulled the parachute and are trying to get out of the ACC as fast as possible. We'll talk about that at 6:30. Is stealing playbooks a big deal? One head coach doesn't seem to think so. We'll debate and buy or sell at 7 o'clock.
Has no bearing on anything.
Sammy Strong Foundation is in studio at 7:15. Their annual home run derby at Warner Park is coming up on August 2nd. They're going to be in to talk to us about their foundation and tell you how you can help donate to pediatric brain cancer research. And then at 7:30, Matt Rule spoke today. A little bit of a late press conference for the head coach. We'll get to him, his thoughts. I know we kind of have to talk about this because of what it say. He didn't really say much that he didn't say in Vegas.
Yeah,
but we'll kind of talk about it at 7:30, and then we'll
uneventful.
As always, we will wrap up our show with our trash takes of the evening. 402-951-1620 is how you can get a hold of Dan Campen and myself and John Schreiner tonight. But we did get the first day of fall camp, and we obviously got the injury list out of the way early. Teddy Prohaska is a full go. There's been a lot of discussion about Turner Corcoran. He was in a non-contact green jersey today. Preston Tawamuba still wearing a yellow jersey. He's been sick, according to the head coach, as well. Carter Nelson was out with a knee brace on his knee. But as of right now, as of today, day one of fall camp, this is a pretty healthy team for the guys you're expecting to make a pretty big impact.
Yeah, nobody got injured in the spring game.
Yeah, thanks, Bly Hill. We got our first look at Isaiah Mosley today, and he changed his number from 84 to 22 because of the switch to running back. We got to see him in some of the drills today with handoffs and just making pads miss and things like that. Buddy, I see why he moved to running back. Like his ability to hit that first gear and then hit the second gear like that was incredibly impressive. And just passing the eye test, because that's really what the day was.
Yeah.
What do guys look like in pads? What do they look like in their positions? Do they look like they fit? Quentin Ives, who a lot of people have suspected is to be the number 2 running back, had rolled his ankle at one point and had to spend the rest of the practice on the bike, but all signs point to him being okay. But it kind of looks like right now, Isaiah Mosley might be number 2 in that depth chart.
Yeah, I
Jamarian Parker's out as well.
Sure. And the thing you worry about with a position switch like that for a guy who's played thing is reading the flow of the defense, understanding the gaps, how to not only, receive the handoff, but keeping your eyes upfield while you're doing that and reading the play and knowing where the bounce is, where the cutback is, all those things. That can only come with experience in playing the position.
Well, and think about what Matt Rule said in Vegas about the adaptation of Dylan Raiola and like what kind of separated what he was doing in the regular season from in the bowl game. And one of those big keys was moving the running back into the backfield for protection versus letting him release out into the flats and work as another receiver and getting out quickly when the blitz is on. Like, you're going to have to pick all this up if you're Isaiah Mosley. And obviously, the other guy that I thought was incredibly popping from just the eye test standpoint, Mekhi Nelson looks like he's got a second twitch to him as well. So that's another guy that I'm really excited to see. But it kind of feels like that number 2 spot's wide open, especially if Quentin Ives is a little more banged up.
Yeah, and this has been our biggest question this entire offseason, basically, is who's the number 2 running back. Like, we think Emmett Johnson is the clear-cut number 1, should be the clear-cut number 1.
Got a lot of high praises from the coaches today.
Yeah, and so this is when we're going to see all that shake out of who claims that second spot. And it has to be it can't just be a placeholder. Your number 2 running back in this day and age of football, and especially in this offense, is going to have to be someone who produces.
Matt Rule said it so. They need 2 or 3 guys.
It has to be a productive position. You're not just a bench warmer. Like, you're going to have to be out there for roughly probably 35 to 40% of the carries are going to go to your number 2 running back, maybe,
or 30 to 40% of the pass blocking situations for your 5-star quarterback as well.
Yeah.
The thing that stood out to me the most on the other side of the ball, just from observing the little bit of video footage that we got, I wasn't able to make it down to practice today. Vincent Shavers looked like he was directing the linebackers. That's really interesting for a guy to come in as a sophomore. And granted, wasn't elected, but had one of those single-digit jerseys last year by the end of the season. And I think it was a little bit of Jamari probably wanted to go back to 10, but Vincent Shavers getting referred to as V9 by the head coach. Matt Rule talked about I don't give freshmen nicknames, but this guy's been the real deal. And we talked about him and Willis McGahee taking the next step forward this year. If you're in a situation where you can allow a sophomore who's very talented, by the way, to also be a vocal leader, we found out that the coaches are only going to spend a week in the dorms this year as opposed to the 2 weeks because the players have such control of this team. They don't need to be policed by the coaches. And we talked about the year 3 Matt Rule bump. We've said maybe you delay it a little bit of at least 1 year because traditionally Matt Rule builds with freshmen. Well, if you start talking about the Vincent Shavers, Dylan Raiola, Ja'Cory Barney year, they're going into their second season. If they're ahead of the curve, and especially from a leadership standpoint, this team might even be a little further ahead than we thought.
Well, you certainly hope so. And like we've heard so much, like all the best teams, right? They all say that the motivation was not coming from the coaching staff; it was coming from the players. The policing was coming from the players; it was not coming from the coaching staff. The punishments were handed down by players, not coaches, right? All the accountability came from inside rather than the coach's office. And if you can start to see some of those things, now it's not a guarantee of success, but it's a hallmark of a team that is poised for success.
More often than not, successful teams have that structure.
Yes, that's true. The other player that I wanted to bring up was got to see some video of Heinrich Haarberg going through pass catching drills.
Yeah,
he looked really smooth.
He's an athlete, man. I mean, the one thing that he did the season that he got the start, the second half after Jeff Sims went down, was run the football.
Yeah.
I mean, he could run. We know he can run. I'm going to be interested to see two-part here. What he looks like blocking and how often they actually ask him to do so.
Sure.
Because you got to coach to your strengths too, right? But he can't also, Matt Rule talks
about
He's
not a small guy.
He's a very large individual, and he's put on some weight as well. But you can't give away, hey, when this guy's coming out here, we're probably going to be passing in this situation. So you've got to be able to coach that and tweak that with your personnel as well. But yeah, he all signs point to he didn't drop a single pass today, was out there running the routes crisply. I think it's going to be a pretty smooth transition.
Yeah, and he seems like the type of player who will put in the extra work to get good at all facets of his position, making this switch. I'm not worried about him making the switch. And like that, the tight end room, if he is as good as he looked today, man, that tight end room is going to look pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, you could argue that might be the most
on the offense
stacked room on the offense for sure. Yeah, the guy that really caught my eye from a physical standpoint, number 83 came walking out of the locker room and he was shown on video, and I went, "Who is that guy?" Because he looked like an NFL tight end, and it was Archie Wilson, the new punter, the freshman kicker out of Australia, and obviously built like a rugby player. But the good news is if they do have a massive injury list to go down the line at tight end, they got a guy that looks the part that can go out there and line up. And we're going to get to Matt Rule's thoughts on this in a little bit. But Matt Rule openly talked about the fact that he can run the ball and throw the ball and kick the ball. So they kind of have an ace up their sleeve when it comes to special teams on a guy that can get a lot of stuff done.
Eckler found the punter he wanted, right?
Yeah, and apparently the tight end that they might need down the road because, like, he just looks like a grown man. The fact that he's a freshman is incredible. And the fact that he's a punter, it looks like he could just slide into left tackle is a little impressive.
Sure, but he's not 18, though. Is he?
He's a freshman.
Yeah, but he's gone through that Pro Kick Australia Academy, right?
I think he's 18. Let me get back to you on that. I think he's... We'll figure that out, but he looks like he's in the face. He looks like he's 18. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's definitely got a baby face. We'll get that information for you here in a minute. But I don't know what questions I had going into today or any that could have been answered, But it is just we talked about this after Big Ten.
No, he's 18.
I thought so. Because I think he started the pro stuff when he was 16, but I didn't want to say that and be incorrect. We talked about this after Big Ten Media Days with Matt Rule and just how constantly players are echoing exactly what the head coach is saying. There wasn't anything that was said today. There wasn't anything that was done today. There wasn't any information that came out where we went, oh, no, or, oh, we didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
And when we talk about vape shop robberies and coaches leaving halfway through the middle of
coaches
camp,
getting DUIs,
coaches being asked to step down from their position. This has been a very, very quiet offseason. And when your head coach has to stop practice last year and pull everybody together and say, there's a problem when the light goes on, this is what you guys do, and this is why we're losing football games, because when there's people here, you guys start doing what you're not coached to do and get out of pocket. And none of that stuff's happening. It kind of feels like the back end of things, the buttoned up situation in Lincoln and this being treated as a business.
Feels like the foundation's built now.
Feels like we're headed in the right direction and the layers are there to start building this thing from the ground.
Yeah, we were talking about this last week, and I have felt the same way for a while now, that I think he's gotten things turned from the attitude that we saw before, the defeatist, woe is me, we always get bad luck. The one-score games just keep going against us. It's not the sort of let's blame everything else except our performance. It seems like that's all gone now. And he's made a pointed effort to remove that from the psyche. Now, it's taken 2 years, I think, to get there.
But let me stop you there. Is that surprising from where this program was and under the previous tutelage?
Not at all.
Where that was the constant message coming out of press conference was, we're close. It's not us, it's them. The world's out to get us.
We need the ball to bounce the right way.
Yeah, because we had the best day of practice that we've had since I've been here.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that surprising that it may have taken 2 years to get that mentality out of the program, even with some of the guys that are still there.
Yeah, it's like some of those things are the roots get in deeper than you know, and deeper than even the people involved know, probably. I mean, you think about back to the first year of Matt Rule, and like everybody was saying, we're tired of the one-score narrative. We're tired of that. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to think about that stuff anymore.
And you could say that, but till you're in it and it happens, you don't understand where everybody's psyche is. Like, another thing, like Matt Rule openly has talked about, I wasn't prepared for the wind in Lincoln. Everybody told me about it. Coach Osborne told me about it. Everybody told me about it. You can't truly understand it till you see it for the first time.
It just gets embedded in the subconscious to a degree where it's not easy to root out. And sometimes it takes players graduating, transferring. It's the old addition by subtraction thing that sometimes there isn't a good way to necessarily change a person's thought process. They just have to move on and do something different. And you can get new people in that are sort of like that raw lump of clay that you can mold them into the player that you want them to be. And I think we're starting to see that vase of Nebraska football take shape on the potting wheel now.
Yeah, and we talked about the schedule this year, but if these things can continue, and listen, somebody of significance is going to get hurt before fall happens. That's how football works. Like before we get to August 28th, somebody that we're expecting to make a contribution is not going to get hurt. It just happens. How they respond to that is what I'm going to be the most interested by, because when you're in it, you're in the fishbowl, it's kind of hard to see that this happens to everybody and everybody on our roster is having this moment. How do we overcome this? And how does the next man up take that moniker and ride with it and take their spot and their situation?
But it happens to every team in the country.
Exactly. But when you're on that team and you're in the thick of it, why is this happening to us?
Yeah.
That's the mentality that's got to go by the wayside, in my opinion, because it's great to be positive and head in the right direction and think that one-score games aren't going to bother us anymore because we've gotten the psyche taken care of. But what happens when you get there? Can you get to that moment and overcome it? Because that's what this team really hasn't been able to do yet.
Yeah, and like for the past couple of years, there's been a big injury during the preseason or the spring game or something of 1-2 guys that you really thought were going to be contributors. Then they're not there, and it's left a void. It has definitely left a void in both of Matt Rule's seasons. And you're right. We're going to have to, because look, it's going to happen. Like,
yeah,
somebody's going to get dinged up. Now, maybe it won't be a catastrophic injury, but there's going to be a guy or two who maybe they're out for the first game. Maybe they're out for 2. Maybe they're out for 3. Maybe they're out for the season. And overcoming that, moving on, next man up, getting to that point where the number on the jersey matters less than the job that's in front of you.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, this team has more depth on paper than the previous two as well.
We've been talking about that for a while.
So we'll see if that matters as well. Speaking of talking for a while, we've been talking about Aloe Fiber for a while, and if you've missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. You can switch, stack, and save right now. Combine your Aloe internet with DirecTV and their new mobile services. Lock your price in for 2 years. That's right, 24 months of no price changing with Aloe Fiber. That's 2 years of premium services with no surprises. This deal is up for grabs until Labor Day, so don't wait. Go over to aloefiber.com/stack. Switch and save tonight. We'll be right back. The top 3 storylines we have heading into fall camp. We come back on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody. John here again for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. You know, we just told you football season has arrived. It's official. The start of fall practice. That's today, but there's still a little bit of time left to get your golf in before we get to the games when your Saturdays are going to be spent camped out on the couch watching your favorite football teams. You can go in and get the great golf gear from Jerry Ryan. Get yourself set for the rest of this summer and fall golf season. 78th and Dodge. Get in there. Get yourself a Johnny O Polo. I promise you will not regret it. It fits perfectly. It's stretchy. It's comfortable. It wicks the sweat away. You don't have to hand wash it or hang dry it. You throw it in the washer. You throw it in the dryer. It comes out perfect, just like the day you bought it. It's easy to care for, and it's going to look great for years to come. You will not regret getting yourself a Johnny O Polo. I've got one. It's number 1 on my polo shirt depth chart. It'll be number 1 on yours, too. If you stop in at 78th and Dodge, check out Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, dressing Omaha for over 50 years.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Sunny, breezy, and hot into the evening with the temperatures in the 90s. Mostly clear tonight. We'll drop back in the mid and upper 70s for a low. And then partly cloudy and hot and humid again for Tuesday. We look for high in the mid to upper 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
Mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Elo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at alofiber.com/stack.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Heat flames are crashing all over the Midwest. Beat the heat with Controlled Comfort. If your AC is aging and you have concerns, Controlled Comfort is your one-stop shop for all your HVAC issues. Let Controlled Comfort's comfort specialists come out, diagnose your issue, resolve it, or replace that old AC unit with one that'll keep you cool in the months ahead. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control. Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
A sound night's sleep. Just one of the many benefits of hiring Christensen Cleaning to take care of your business. A team of cleaners and supervisors clean during the evening, so you arrive to a clean office every day. Rest easy every night, knowing that Christensen Cleaning is on duty.
The carpet stain is gone. It's amazing.
Go to ChristensenClean.com to request a proposal. That's ChristensenClean.com.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel.
622 on a Monday night here on 1620.
Cuss words.
Brought to you by Bellevue University, where you can cuss all you want, probably because you can do the majority of your schooling online at Bellevue.edu. Register for classes, become a brewer. The schooling's so good, it'll make you say the F word. Our top three storylines heading in.
They're going to love that promo. That one's good. Send that to them right away.
Our top three storylines
one online.
heading into the fall camp up for Nebraska football this year that we're intrigued by. I'm going to go and start us off. Who's going to be the tone setter in the pass rushing situation? We talked about Vincent Shavers a minute ago. Riley Van Poppel being out of the equation, not redshirting this year. Willis McGahee in year 2. Elijah Judy has a lot of expectations around him coming back, but he's more of a run stopper. Cam Lenhart, after a freshman All-American season, took a little bit of a regression a year ago. Who knows what Deshaun McCullough is going to be asked to do on this team, because he could do all of it. Those are 6 pretty good guys to have that problem. My question is, when you need a guy to make a play, we knew it was Nash or Ty last year. Who is that guy or guys this season? That's what I'm intrigued by.
Did you go with 3 or 1? I'm sorry.
3. Sorry.
This is your third.
Okay. I was like 6. I forgot what you. I didn't realize what you were asking me.
So my third biggest one is, how does Mike Eckler impact the special teams? Because the thing that we have talked about holding Nebraska back from several wins over the past, 5 years, is failings on special teams
and several different levels.
And, injuries to the kicker last year, the punting situation, which was inconsistent, kick coverage being just junior high awful. Like,
whoa.
And the absolute lack of a return game in any facet, be it punt or kick.
You know what I'll be interested to hear from, whether it be Archie Wilson or Tristan Lovano or whoever ends up being the specialist at the different levels on this team. How does Brett Maher factor into what you just said into that? Because listen, I don't think Mike Eckler's going out there and coaching the specialists, right? I think he's probably a scheme guy, and then he's going to let Maher handle all of that. That's what that might be the one thing that's going to be held behind the scene that we never get the answer to. That may be the difference maker in what you just alluded to on special teams as well.
But I think that's the thing that, like, I was looking at things that we're going to look at throughout the entirety of the season.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just like, on top of that, I think there's a layer there that maybe isn't necessarily discussed. Dan, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just, when we look back on this season, what will we say Mike Eckler's impact on special teams has been?
Oh, the soccer guy wants to talk about kicking. Weird. Dan, what's your number 3?
I didn't know that Brett Maher was a part of our kicking staff now.
There you go. The more you know. Listen to After Hours. We'll tell you about it.
We're going to be kicking so good this season. That's awesome. My number 3.
Kicking so good, you'll say the F word.
I mean,
is that our new tagline?
Yeah. Hopefully it's in a positive way.
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
take it if it's in a positive way.
It's a good point, Dan. We've probably been saying the F word for all the wrong reasons when it comes
to
if
Archie Wilson is the one making tackles, I'll be saying the F word for a very different reason.
The guy he hits probably will too. What do you got for number 3?
6'3", 225.
Honestly,
looking thick.
I hate being this guy. Those numbers might be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It might be taller and bigger, by the way.
My third most interesting storyline going into camp is now that Teddy Prohaska is healthy and Gunnar Gatula is back at full strength, what is this tackle competition going to look like on the offensive line?
Well, if you believe,
and how's it going to stack up?
If you really believe rumor and innuendo, it's Tyler Connacht's job to lose.
Yeah.
So,
but
listen, I think Gunnar being healthy is probably the thing that makes that more intriguing too.
I'm saying I'm totally fine with that. I don't, whether it's going to be kind of a hockey line shift change kind of deal where they're just throwing in as many tackles as they can per game to kind of get reps and get strength and see who fits the best in different situations. Totally fine with me, but I'm just really intrigued to see what the offensive line kind of stacks up to be this year. Really excited for Justin Evans at center this year.
I am too.
All of kind of the pre-camp, mini camp, what do you call it? Mat drill kind of stuff that we've heard about it is that him and Dylan Raiola developed a connection extremely quickly, which is the most important thing between a center and a quarterback. So if all's well that ends well, I think we're going to have a strong offensive line this year, but that'll be my one to really look out
for. The left tackle?
Sure. Yeah.
My number 2 is, where's Ja'Cory Barney at in year 2? Because I think we're pointing at Isaiah Hunter and Dane Key and saying, look what they did elsewhere. Ja'Cory Barney was very heavily leaned on towards the end of last season as not necessarily the number 1 option, but you can make the argument for number 2 or number 3, especially when you needed a big play. Wow, I sent you guys the video of him scaling that building yesterday. Yep. The dude is just a freak athlete. And we talk about those other 2 guys because that's kind of how we talked about Isaiah Nair and Jamal Banks last year. There could be a real life situation where Ja'Cory Barney might be your number 1A option at wide receiver to make plays in crunch time situations this year.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I think there's a few guys that need to take that second year jump, and he's one of them
for sure.
He needs to be impactful, almost every down.
You know what? I'll even say this:
whether he's a decoy or catching a pass.
I think there's 5 or 6 second year guys that a lot of people around here are going to be surprised if they don't take that second year jump, and he's definitely one of them.
My second one was just the overall health and look and feel of the pass rush. Because I think in the past couple of years, Nebraska has been really good at stopping the run for the most part. The pass rush has kind of been hit or miss. It's been hot and cold, right?
And you probably feel like with Elijah Judy and Riley Van Poppel, stopping the run's probably going to be probably on the same level, if not a little bit higher.
And so it kind of piggybacks off your third one. But can Cam Lenhart be that edge rusher on the interior line? What is Dason McCullough, Willis McGahee, Vincent Shavers from the outside? How do those guys all work together to get because good teams who win games, yes, they're good at covering on the back end, but the best thing that they do is put pressure on the quarterback so that they don't have time to sit back there and pick the defense apart. We hear it all the time. Every secondary is good for 3 seconds, right?
Yeah. All you got to do is cover for 3 seconds. Sure.
Right. But when it's 5, 6 and there's no pass rush, well, most college quarterbacks are going to be able to find somebody open.
And we've seen it happen against Nebraska.
And so that on those third and long situations,
you remember
especially
Blacksburg in 2009.
So the overall health, look and feel of the pass rush is one that I'm going to be paying attention to a lot.
Number 2?
My number 2 is the depth that we are going to have at the tight end position. Harburg, Markway, Nelson, and Eric Ingwerson.
You forgot Luke Lindenmeyer.
I was about saying you left the best one out.
Lindenmeyer. We've got a lot of tight ends. And if there's one thing that Dana Holgorsen likes a lot in his offense is the foil that a tight end can sort of become within an offense. Are you going to stretch out the field at times with a Carter Nelson, who's kind of your in-between, big enough to be a tight end, but also still small enough that he's got the speed and kind of swiftness to be a more of a wide receiver kind of pass catching tight end? Or are you going to, go with your Lindenmeyer situation where you've got big, stocky, can block, get off, and, be that over the middle guy to get you 3 to 5 yards? It'll be, that's the one that is interesting on the offense from a pass catching standpoint.
My number one is the lowest hanging fruit it possibly could be. Who's running back number one or number two? Excuse me. And we already talked about this.
That's your number one storyline.
I think it is because I think it's the most important.
Okay.
Like, I feel like I have enough trust in Dana Holgorsen / Dylan Raiola / this wide receivers group that's going to be figured out. Excuse me. I'm sorry. You look at the depth of the offensive line. That's been a commonplace issue over the last couple of years. They've seemed like they've got that taken care of. But Dan already broke down the tight end room. I feel really good, if not even better, about where the pass rush could be heading into this season. I think this group of guys has more upside than last year's, but obviously they've got to be able to deliver on that. I really like this linebacker group. We've talked about our affinity for the defensive back room. It kind of feels like the one piece that's missing in the puzzle is what happens if Emmett Johnson isn't available, and I don't think they have that answer right now.
I thought my number one was going to be the lowest hanging fruit. It's the Dana Holgorsen year 2 Dylan Raiola. Like, what impact does a year of development for Dylan and a full year of Dana Holgorsen with a full offseason running the offense, how does that improve Nebraska's ability to score points? Because newsflash, if you don't score points, you can't win games. Like,
correct. That checks out. Yes.
So how does this impact, like, these two being together for a full offseason, Dana's principles fully embedded into the program now, and it seems like Matt Rule has just handed the keys to the car over to him and said, "Go run the offense." Like, so what does it
Pretty
look
good
like
guy
now?
to hand the keys to.
What does it look like now? How does it improve what Nebraska's doing on offense? Because last year at the beginning of the season, I don't think anyone would disagree, Nebraska's offense was way worse than it deserved to be.
And I think it showed in that Wisconsin game.
With the talent that they had.
You didn't argue the USC game.
And the scheme was not working for the personnel. It just wasn't. So how does the scheme of Dana Holgorsen work with the personnel that they have now?
Take Dylan Raiola out of it. Who do you think this season, because I think it was very obvious last season it was Emmett Johnson. Who do you think benefits the most from Dana Holgorsen outside of Dylan Raiola in 2025?
It's probably your slot receiver.
That's exactly who I was going to say.
It's because of that mesh concept where the slot receiver's coming across the middle and you either find him early or he goes all the way across the formation and he's alone on the backside with that crossing receiver from the backside.
Got to be Ja'Cory Barney, right?
Ja'Cory Barney, you put him in open space, he could just run by everyone on a 4-yard catch. Like, I think your slot receiver has the most to gain from Dana Holgorsen being the OC.
Dan, what's your number one?
That's
a stupid one. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is going to sound a little weird, but is talking the talk going to lead to us walking the walk?
Okay.
It's not that weird. It's actually pretty apropos.
At Media Day, the one thing that I noticed that Rule really hung on to that was outside of personnel, outside of the year 3 conversation, was all about the training table, the facilities, the ability to have like a great staff around him, the ability to get players rehabbed as quickly as possible, injury evaluation, all those kinds of things, and bragged a lot about our practice facilities. With all of this positive that he's throwing around the program in terms of what we have, is that going to show up on the field? Are we going to see a tighter squad this year? Are we going to see a team that is meshed extremely well together, knows how to play together? And is it a team that is going to be able to sort of tune out the hype monster or use the hype monster to its advantage rather than crumbling to it? I know we've all seen today already Maxwell Awards watch list, Dylan Raiola. He's already on the list apparently for the season, even though training camp just barely opened up today and
fall camp.
No one has actually seen him, start to practice yet. Are we going to let the hype monster and the hype train run out of control? Or is the Nebraska football team going to come together, be as tight as they possibly can be, and win a heck of a lot of football games?
Let me tell you why I think that might actually be the perfect answer. And because we talk about all the different things that stay with coaches when they leave Big Ten Media Days, right? What was the reason why Matt Rule was talking about why Scott Frost wasn't able to be successful, or some of the reasons he may have been able to? Weren't set financially, didn't have the facilities done. Basically, all the stuff that Dan just championed were the reasons why Matt Rule said this might have been why this job wasn't a good job at the time. According to Matt Rule, all those things have been fixed. So if you're not able to win now, got a 5-star quarterback. Just added a 5-star defensive lineman. You've got some talent. You got a guy in Deshaun McCullough and Pritchard who are both being projected as first-round guys. Okay, if you can't win now, what are the reasons now?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying go win a national championship or a Big Ten title, but if you can't get to 8, 9, 10 wins now, why not? And I think that's a question if they're not able to.
Absolutely.
And especially if they start off slow, they're going to be asked about. If you missed our top 3 storylines heading into fall camp, check it out at our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Timber. Timber Woodfire Bistro is not a lunch or dinner spot. It is an entire experience. When you walk in, you see their whole open kitchen concept. The whole bar is open. You can see from one end to the other. You can sit at the bar. You can sit at the table. You can have an entire date night. They're open from 9:30 to 2 on Sundays, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30. Stop by 84th and Pacific. Grab my personal favorite. It's the Timber Pie. It's the best pizza that I've ever had. Stop in. It's got the savory, the sweet, and the spicy all mixed into it. Stop by and also grab yourself their hand-stretched margarita pizza as well. It's Timber Woodfire Bistro. Stop by and grab dinner tonight for date night. North Carolina. Did they tip the first domino over? We'll debate on the other side of the break. 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody. John here for Bob at Williams Law. If your biggest storyline of the fall is your impending court date, well, then you need some advice before you step in front of the judge. And Bob Williams is the man to give you exactly that. He's going to give you a free, no-obligation legal consultation where he'll sit down with you, explain your rights, go through the process, given your specific legal situation, whether it's criminal, civil, or personal. He can handle all that. And he's not going to ask you to sign a thing for your first meeting. He just wants to get to know you and see if it's a good fit and if you like to work together. Don't let the questions weigh heavy on your mind. Get them answered now. Get them answered for free. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
This summer, skip the backyard hassle and let Pepper Jacks do the grilling for you. We're talking hot off the grill flavor. Philly sandwiches, rice bowls, nachos, and more made fresh and fired up just how you like it. Whether you're fueling up after the game or grabbing a bite before you hit the pool, we've got your summer craving covered. Dine in, carry out, or hit up the Pepper Jacks app. No flames at home? No problem. We're grilling all summer long. Pepper Jacks, where flavor takes the field.
Pepper Jacks Grill. Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
It's golf season and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monir the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Is the Force strong with you? Find out this July with Project Solo. Find your favorite Star Wars cans of your favorite Coke products through July 31st. Stop by your local Hy-Vee and pick up 12 packs of Coke for just $3.99 when you purchase 4 between July 2nd through the 6th. Also pick up half-liter 6-packs with your favorite Star Wars characters for $3.99. 16-ounce body armor or all over Nebraska.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
I get no doubt.
640 on a Monday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the ideal college experience, head over to bellevue.edu, register for classes, become a Bruin. No classes on Friday, the majority of your schooling done online, and also live sports right on your campus. Don't forget to punch in for the night shift, where J-Man lets us know that he's already checked out on the Cubs because they're on the road. But appreciate you staying with us tonight, J-Man. Punch in the night shift. Let us know what you think about what we're discussing tonight. And we just talked about this last week about how it's been all quiet on the Western Front about conference realignment.
We did.
And the ACC said, hold my beer. North Carolina, Louisville, Miami, and Virginia allegedly are all negotiating to leave the ACC. A report from Buck Sanders came out today from that North Carolina would be interested in having discussions with the SEC. The article says that North Carolina and Clemson are considered to be the frontrunners of the pack to make the move, which makes it really interesting for Florida State and Clemson because they were the two that kind of started this whole negotiation in the first place. Now, there's a lot of discussion around the year 2030 because that's when the buyout is at its lowest. According to Buck Sanders, that might not matter. North Carolina might be ready to make the jump sooner rather than later.
Well, if you believe some of the other reporting that North Carolina already has a handshake agreement that when they decide to leave the ACC, they'll be admitted into the SEC. There's other reporting out there, On3 reported it, that there are handshake agreements, nothing in writing, nothing official, nothing confirmed, but that the SEC has said to North Carolina, okay, when you pack your stuff, you got a place to stay. So this is getting weird real fast.
And when it came out today from Locked On Big 12, the rumors are swirling that Miami and Louisville essentially have the same exact deal with the Big 12. So it's not necessarily a mad dash to the SEC or the Big 10. It's, hey, North Carolina's looking and the dominoes are already starting to fall. Let's make sure we have somewhere to land so when our bags are packed, we can just go into our new home as well.
You know who this is actually the worst news for?
Duke.
Stanford and Cal.
Yeah, I agree because they might go, we're good. Thanks. Yeah, go ahead and head back to the Pac-12.
Right, but it's like they had the Pac-12 fall out from underneath them.
Yep.
Scrambled to find a new place to play. The only thing that they can do is go and play on the East Coast as California schools.
And spend a ton of money to do so.
And now that may be falling apart under their feet. Like, I honestly, I kind of feel bad for those schools because they have been through it with this whole process. And now, like, is the Pac-12 just going to go back to the Pac-10 again? Like, what's going to happen?
It makes a whole lot more sense than having Texas State in the conference. Like, if you're the Pac-12, would you not rather have Cal and Stanford than half the schools that they've added? So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily, I do feel bad for them, but I have a feeling that we're going to get some semblance of what the Pac-12 and the Mountain West was. Like, I didn't understand why there was this mad dash to add the basketball schools to the Pac-12. That just didn't make any sense to me. Maybe just because they felt like they're out of options from a football standpoint. But I think it's really interesting that the school that has kind of always been linked to the Big Ten kind of seems like there's a little bit more than just a link there. Like the Big Ten has been talking about the Virginia market for a very long time. And it seems like the Cavaliers are probably going to be Big Ten bound as well.
Again, another one, the reporting says there's a handshake agreement that when and if they exit, they'll have a home in the Big Ten.
Well, it's a couple things, right? It's the TV viewership in that market, which it's a lot like Maryland and Rutgers. You have those numbers, but nobody's watching it.
Strong academic school.
But it's also an AAU school. Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be a big deal. And they fit the academic standards of the Big Ten as an accredited school as well. So the thing, I say all that to say this, the thing that was the most ironic part about all of this report from Buck Sanders and Rivals and On3 came out as Rhett Lashley, the head coach of SMU, is literally standing at the podium at ACC Media Days saying that the Big Ten, the SEC, and the ACC need to leave the Big 12 in the dust, and they need to form a Power 3, and that he wants the ACC to stop being compared to the Big 12 because they are head and shoulders above that league. You might not have a league to stand on, sir.
Buddy, you might be begging the Big 12 to get in.
Which is probably what's going to happen. The other interesting debate about all this, and obviously it comes hand in hand, when you're going to talk about North Carolina, there's another school about 8 miles down the road, you need to have a similar discussion about what does college basketball look like if North Carolina and Duke are not in the same conference? Because
that's
I think
bad
we're
for everybody.
I think we're very close. But with that being said, I feel like North Carolina is a much better fit for the SEC than Duke is,
Oh, yeah.
obviously. I think Duke is a better fit for the Big 12 than North Carolina is as well. So if they end up that split ends up happening and they go their separate ways, I think it may be beneficial for both of them to end up in those two spots.
Like, honestly, Jimmy, if the ACC collapses under its own weight, that's the for me, that's the catalyst to the split.
Is Duke and North Carolina end up on separate sides of the fence?
No, is that the ACC, which has traditionally been like the third strongest conference, if that falls apart, I think we're in for much bigger changes. Because if Carolina, Florida State, Miami, Louisville, Virginia, if those schools leave,
probably Clemson,
what's left behind is not enough to make a power conference. It just isn't.
You basically have Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Virginia Tech, Wake, certainly in football.
You basically have Virginia Tech.
Yeah, honestly. So I think like if you're a 20-team league now as the Big Ten, if you take on 2 more and become a 20-team league, and the SEC takes on 3 and becomes what, 19?
19, yeah. Well, it kind of feels like there's going to be 4, right? Like if we're having this conversation,
Yeah.
you're probably all getting to 20. And I think the most impressive thing about all of this is how this discussion, like when the first domino falls and Nebraska jumps to the Big Ten and Missouri jumps to the SEC and Colorado jumps to the Pac-12, it was how does the Big 12 survive? And the fact of the matter is they might be the third conference in all this when we're talking about a Power 3. And it feels like they're on maybe the most solid footing of any of the other conferences outside of the two. And to some degree, they might be on the most solid footing because the dude that's running it feels like they've got the whole thing mapped out about who they are and what they want to be. And they can kind of be the third option, but be healthy at the same time. It is incredible to me that that's the conversation we're having after all this started in 2010.
But honestly, I can't see a world in which the ACC falls apart and we have 2 20-team conferences and there's not a split in Division I. I can't see it happening. Like, I don't know how you manage those unwieldy conferences like that. There doesn't seem to be a good way to do it.
But listen, I hear you and I agree. But how different is that from having 5 power conferences and 7 non? Like in the grand scheme of things, you know what I mean? Like
it's very different.
But hold on, because I think we all operate under the understanding that last year it was probably a Big Ten or an SEC champion that was probably going to win the college football playoff. Yes?
Yeah.
How is that any different than the conversation we just had?
It's because of the administration of the conferences. When you're talking about 20 teams per league.
Oh, okay. We're talking about 2 different things here. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Because they're going to have 20 teams, but the MAC is going to have 12 or 6 or what do they have, 14 now? And you're going to have all these smaller leagues and then have them operating. Yeah, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. I thought you meant like the haves versus the have-nots. And I was like, no, that's very much what we have right now.
Not at all. No, it has nothing to do with the competitive balance. It's the administration of those conferences.
How do you determine who wins?
Right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because
that's a great point.
Like half your league's not going to play each other.
Right. Well, and I think it's important to point out that there was the discussions this year about $28.5 million and you got to have a financial responsibility to have a seat at the table and all of that. I don't think that's happenstance by this happening and this conversation coming at the beginning of football season. And it felt like this information being leaked at ACC Media Days on the day where North Carolina is speaking was probably very deliberate to happen as well.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know. If this all happens, and look, it may not happen for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Because of the buyout situation. But it may happen sooner. I mean, North Carolina might be the catalyst for what we've been talking about in hushed tones for a while, that there's going to be like 60 teams in the new Division I. And
it's the conversation we're having every day. It's the arms race. Everybody's trying to keep up with everybody. So if North Carolina bolts, you don't want to be the team that's in the ACC that's left standing there holding back.
In an inferior comp, because if you're an institution that wants to compete for national championships in football and basketball, the 2 biggest collegiate sports,
and make money off of them,
you have to make money out of your conference affiliation.
Yep.
And if you're in a completely diminished ACC, you might as well be in Conference USA, honestly. because you're just not going to command the kind of TV revenue that is required to keep up with the Joneses. It's just a fact of the way college sports are right now.
I think Duke is going to be the most interesting case study out of all of this, because let me hyphen that. Duke / the Big East. Because what do they want to do, right? If you're the Big East and you have a UConn team that is dominant in men's basketball but is dumping their money into football, could you make that pitch to a blue blood that is maybe sitting out on the shelf with needing somewhere to go right now? Because they would kind of fit directly into the Big East mold. If you're like, listen, come play basketball in the Big East, we'll let you go play football in the Big 12. I don't know who's saying no to that conversation. Because then you get Duke versus Villanova, Duke versus UConn, Duke versus Creighton. You get Duke versus...
The problem is that the Big 12, I don't think, would agree to it. They would for especially a brand like Duke, they would say, yeah, we'll let you play football here, but you got to bring your basketball team.
They want that basketball money.
Absolutely.
That's where you're drawing the money from, not from the football.
Of course they do, but in a sense of what does your pool mean? Like, you got to remember that the Big East just signed that deal with the ESPN Plus. They've got the Fox money coming in too. So it's not like it's not an apples to apples comparison where you probably like, listen, having the Duke brand isn't going to hurt anybody, even if it is football, right? So if you're losing their biggest brand, is it worth anything to have the rest? And I think that's a conversation some of these not Big Ten and SEC conferences are probably going to start having sooner rather than later. Because it's not like it doesn't happen already, right? Like, I mean, Missouri still wrestles in the Big 12. Like, there are these little nuances throughout college athletics where it's not fall directly by suit of their conference that they're aligned with, i.e. Notre Dame being an ACC basketball school, but an independent football team. And so it's not that different.
I just feel like Notre Dame's such an outlier because they have been an independent forever. So I don't know. I mean, and then you ask what happens with the schools like Virginia Tech, like North Carolina State, who are, they're not elite usually, but they're good.
Well, if you're following the trend, I think they end up in the Mountain West. It's because it makes no sense geography-wise.
None.
Hey, if you missed this segment about conference realignment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. If you find yourself in a situation where your AC unit's just not kicking on when it's supposed to, you keep going over to the thermostat and setting it, but it's not turning on. When it gets below a certain degree where you have it set at, there's something wrong between your AC and the thermostat. Have Controlled Comfort come out and take a look at your unit. It may be the same problem I was having. There's new wire that had to be run for mine. We thought we were going to have our whole AC replaced. They got the issue diagnosed and fixed within an hour. Check out controlledcomfort.com if you have a break glass in case of emergency situation tonight. What's trending on social media? We find out. We come back on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody. John here for Paul Davis Restoration. Let me tell you about home ownership and the worries that brings. Did some water get in the basement? Did you find some mold behind a drywall panel when your kid kicked it in the basement? Did you maybe burn the dinner and now you've got these black smoke marks all over the kitchen? Well, if any of those things are concerning you, call this number, 402-553-0373. Paul Davis Restoration will come out and get your home back to the way it was before any of that mess happened. And keep that number in your phone, because when the seasonal storms hit and maybe you come up with a little emergency situation, Paul Davis will be on site in a flash to help you with whatever happened to your home. 402-553-0373 is the number for Paul Davis Restoration.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot fieldhouse featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Why waste happy hour at 3 when you can get late night happy hour at Goose's? From 8 to 10, stop in for $1 off draft beers and $1 off all appetizers. Stop by our location in historic downtown Papillion, where there's always something going on. Music bingo or the 25 wing challenge, where you eat 25 wings in 10 minutes and they're free. Ditch the same old happy hour for the late night experience at Goose's Bar and Grill, 129 North Washington in Papillion, where there's always something going on.
Heat waves are crashing all over the Midwest. Beat the heat with Controlled Comfort. If your AC is aging and you have concerns, Controlled Comfort is your one-stop shop for all your HVAC issues. Let Controlled Comfort's comfort specialists come out, diagnose your issue, resolve it, or replace that old AC unit with one that'll keep you cool in the months ahead. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with Trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Put a bow on the first hour of the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the ideal college experience, head over to bellevue.edu and register for classes today. If you're a local athlete in the area, you want to continue your education and your playing career, if the NAIA level is the route for you, head over to bellevue.edu or bubruins.com for more information on their sports teams on campus as well. The reigning MVP of the After Hours Lounge is Dan Campanen, and he has buyers, or he doesn't have buyer sell yet. He has the social media soundbite for us. What do you got for us tonight, Dan?
Big press conference today, and it wasn't from Matt Rule.
That is the one and only Coach Prime. Deion Sanders spoke today with his medical team, and you and I alluded to this last week. We thought this was going to be him stepping away from football, and that was the exact opposite of what we got today. And unfortunately, Deion Sanders was a lot of people thought this was the same issue he was having with his vascular problems in his feet because he's had a few toes amputated. This was not the case. He ended up having a tumor removed from his bladder, and then ended up having his entire bladder removed as well. And Coach Prime alluded to it and talked about his issues with bathroom problems and things like that. And he's back right now in Boulder, or not even officially yet. Tomorrow will be his first day. I just find it really hard for a guy that's had 14 surgeries in the last 4 years and now has had to have his bladder completely transplanted to think that this is a long-term plan for what's going to be the head coach in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a good path for him to remain an active participant, especially on the daily grind of football practice and recruiting and game planning and game day and like dealing with health problems and just having a normal job is hard enough. Being a college football coach and having this kind of thing
on top of the already elements that he has with his missing toes and things like that.
I mean, far be it from me to project, but like if you're looking at this objectively, can you honestly see him finishing the season?
I don't see him starting the season, and I hate to say that. I know we've made our jokes about Colorado and hating Deion Sanders and the Buffaloes because of our Nebraska fandom, but I just don't like. I don't want him to get to a situation where he's having accidents on the sideline, and because that if there's a camera there, it's gonna be shot. And he talked about it today and said it happens, and when he takes a nap or wakes up or whatever, it's the first thing he checked, and it's just a problem. And he's talked to some people that have gone through the similar surgery and aired those issues and have been trying to be a group and get them figured out together. Listen, time's undefeated, right? It catches up to all of us, and we're seeing some of our heroes get to difficult parts of their lives. I just don't ever want to see Deion. And listen, that's just me. I tell you right now, Deion Sanders does not give a damn what I think or what I want to see, and probably doesn't care. But I want to see him be able to walk out. Listen, what he has done at Colorado, he can walk away tomorrow with his head held high because they've been able to turn that thing around from where it was. Now, you're always going to get the snickers and the poke fun at that, he did it, he left because his kids left and all that. With that being said, I don't know what else he has left to prove. Like, I don't know why he needs to do this. Now, in true Coach Prime fashion, he got himself a deal with the Pens because, of course, he did because he's still Coach Prime.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I hope that he gets the ability to walk away with dignity.
Yeah, that's the only thing is you don't want it to be a situation where someone has to tell him, like, you can't do this anymore.
So I'm on the other side of this. If his doctors are giving him the okay, and they're saying that the cancer hasn't spread to any other portion of his body,
I want to be clear. The cancer is the least of my worries with this situation. Like, I hope it doesn't come back, but I just don't want him.
It's polite to interrupt someone when they're in the middle of a sentence.
Go ahead.
Because if it were the case that he did have further reaches of cancer within his body, that is something that you cannot handle and, like John alluded to, be a full-time football coach and go in for that full daily grind, because that's 18 hours a day at minimum, probably, that you're having to worry about a Colorado program that unfortunately you are having to miniaturely rebuild right now because you're losing a lot of the guys that you initially recruited on your move over from Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're having to go through radiation treatment, chemo treatment, possibly, and other ways to mitigate the cancer that you have in your body, that's a huge toll that's going to take out of you. And that's a lot of your day that's going to get eaten up and is not going to be football focused.
And I want to point out his doctors did mention that he is completely cancer-free.
He's cancer-free, which is good news.
It is. But I like, just to kind of connect this to somebody else, like, I think about some of the stuff that Jerry Kill has had to go through.
I said the same thing.
And obviously he's left a couple of programs in pretty bad situations for that reason. Now, those two things aren't necessarily always connected, but for the school's sake, for his sake, I think it'd be best for everybody if we're talking about him maybe moving on at the very latest at the end of this football season.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm kind of torn about it because on one side, it's sort of like,
you don't want to tell a man what to do.
I don't want to tell anyone how to live their life. Like, if this is what makes you happy, you should absolutely do it. And then the other side is like, yeah, but dude, do you need to? Like, couldn't you just enjoy watching your kids play professional football?
And he went to Shiloh's camp in Tampa and didn't tell him this was going on, by the way. His kids didn't know until yesterday about it. Well, his sons didn't anyway. I hate to make this comparison, but it's what it feels like. When your parents get to that point where you got to talk to them about taking the keys away and maybe it's not best for them to drive, it feels like this is going down that road.
It's tough, man, because at what point does someone's drive and commitment and dedication and to some degree ego become actually bad for them?
Yeah, and here's the flip side. What if we're reading too much into this and he is perfectly fine? Because there's always that possibility as well. Hey, we got to get to the Sammy Strong Foundation. Their home run derby is coming up at Warner Park. We're going to talk to Sarah and Joe Strong about their event coming up. If you missed this segment on Coach Prime and you missed the social media soundbite, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. If your business has an entire team that is dedicated to their social media marketing, you're in a great spot. If you're not, if you got one person, maybe it's your nephew that you hired on the side, you're in a bad spot. You need to be in a good spot. Work with pixelfiremarketing.com today. They're local, right here in Omaha, right off 132nd and Center. Their entire team will ignite your social media presence and entice your ideal client online. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more information tonight. We'll talk with the folks from Sammy Strong's Foundation when we come back on 1620thezone.com. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. Home or residential, they can do it all. I've told you for a while, they've fixed a ton of stuff in my house. We bought a house 3 years ago. Had all the plumbing problems of taking on a new house. They've been able to fix a wax ring underneath our toilet. They water jetted our main line. They took a camera, ran it down the main line, found out that we had tree roots in our pipes, water jetted all of that out to the street. We have not had a backup since then. If you're worried about turning on your dishwasher, your washing machine, flushing the toilet, whatever it is, you're worried about that water backing up in your basement, a water jetting process with AX Plumbing can fix your sewers tonight. Check out axpservice.com for more details with AX Plumbing.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
This summer, skip the backyard hassle and let Pepper Jacks do the grilling for you. We're talking hot off the grill flavor. Philly sandwiches, rice bowls, nachos, and more made fresh and bitered up just how you like it. Whether you're fueling up after the game or grabbing a bite before you hit the pool, we've got your summer craving covered. Dine in, carry up, or hit up the Pepper Jacks app. No flames at home? No problem. We're grilling all summer long. Pepper Jacks, where flavor takes the field.
Pepper Jacks Grill.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Goose's Bar and Grill is the best kept secret in Papillion. A dynamite menu, live events, and great drink specials. 129 North Washington Street is the place to be all summer long. $3 tacos on Monday, the biggest tenderloins you can find on Tuesday, and celebrate Wing Wednesday with after hours with $1 wings on Wednesday. Goose's Bar and Grill, 129 North Washington in Papillion. Open till 10 Monday through Friday and 2 a.m. on the weekends. Goose's Bar and Grill, where there's always something going on.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
The first day of school will be here before you know it, so let's make sure every student in the metro area is ready to go. Join us for the Salvation Army Seven Can Help Kids Back to School Backpack Program, sponsored by Methodist Health System and supported by Firefighters on the Move. Drop off new backpacks and school supplies now through August 3rd at select Metro Credit Union, Cubby's Convenience Stores, and Methodist Urgent Care locations. For a full list of drop-off sites or to donate to the program online, go to salarmyomaha.org. That's salarmyomaha.org.
KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
7-11 on a Monday night here at 1620, The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You don't become number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Book a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. Joe and Sarah Strong are in studio with us tonight. They brought Sammy with them. The Sammy Strong Foundation has their annual 5K and Home Run Derby coming up on August 2nd. Sarah, thank you guys for coming back tonight. What is the annual 5K, and how can people get involved in the Home Run Derby at Warner Park on August 2nd?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having us back out. We love coming on and saying hello. We are having our 5th annual 5K Home Run Derby. We have changed it up a little bit this year, and we've added a 1 mile fun run walk. And then we've also
For the lazy people like me.
Well, or, people maybe just don't want to commit to the 5K, and that's
Sure.
okay. And then much to Sammy's great idea, we've also included a 5K relay. Sammy was pretty adamant that baseball players only run 90 feet. So
That's a good point.
He's just wanting to do the relay.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
So we have a couple of different things that we added to, and then also our traditional 5K, and then back at it with the Home Run Derby. Where 8 and older get to actually go down on the field and
Snag some fly balls.
take their swing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, baseball's a big part of this whole story. I mean, the logo on the shirt is the back of Sammy holding a baseball bat with a helmet on.
Yeah.
It's a home run derby. What was it about the baseball community that made you guys bring this all together in this way?
I would say for when we went through brain cancer on our end when Sam was 9, Sam's why, anytime anybody asked, doctor, nurse, therapist, whatever, he wanted to play baseball again. And he wanted to get through this and do all the physical therapy, the occupational therapy, all the things that went into coming back from brain surgery was baseball. That was his number one thing, is I want to play baseball. And it was awesome to watch how hard he worked to make that happen. And so it was the logo is his literal first game that next spring picture. And so it just kind of turned into the face of the foundation that Sarah and I started, knowing that we got where we were for his treatment based on the community and the support we had. And so the Sammy Strong Foundation was born to be that community or that support for anybody that needs it, that may not have that same support system. So,
And for anybody that doesn't know what the Sammy Strong Foundation is, you guys are helping families that are dealing with pediatric brain cancer. And I feel like I've known you guys so long. It's crazy to me that Sammy's standing here and he almost looks like an adult now. It's weird to me.
Right.
But
He overtook me in height. It's a very sad day.
He appreciates you saying that, too.
I wasn't going to point it out.
Yeah.
But for anybody that is dealing with pediatric brain cancer, how can they get a hold of the Sammy Strong Foundation and become a part of what you guys are doing as well?
Yeah, no, great question. So there's a couple of different ways that you can find us. Obviously, we are on social media, both Instagram, Facebook, our handle being Go Sammy Strong. And then we have our website, which is the same, gosammystrong.com. And then we have our email, which is gosammystrong@gmail.com. So
If it's not broke, don't fix
making
it,
it easy.
right?
Yeah.
And for the event itself, with the home run derby and the run and all that stuff, how can people get involved in that? Is there still time to sign up to participate?
Absolutely. We got lots of time. The easiest is gosammystrong.com. It's the first thing on our website is a picture of the flyer and all the things included. Click on the flyer. It gives you right to a Give Butter registration where you can sign up for any and all of the events. You don't have to run and hit home runs. You can do one or the other. Come out, enjoy the food trucks that'll be there. If you're not a runner, you just want to see the event, come out and support. You don't have to do any of those events to have a great time. It was a fun, absolute blast at Warner Park last year. The first 3 years of the event, we were at Zarinsky, and it was awesome. Last year, we kind of kicked it up a little bit and went to Warner, and it was amazing seeing these young kids so excited to be hitting where, professional baseball players.
Yeah, Paul Skeens pitched in that park.
Jack Caglione hit in that park. Yeah.
We and I just want to. Marty's a friend of the show, and obviously, just a fantastic human being. You're fine. Why Warner Park, and how did that partnership come about, Sarah?
So Warner Park has always had kind of a special place in our heart. Joe's dad was one of the first ticket holders when the Omaha Storm Chasers opened up there. Sam and all of our kids just grew up going and watching games, watching the fireworks. We have numerous pictures of Sam essentially in a diaper, watching the games.
This is like last week. Huh?
And so that was just a really just kind of like a full circle of not only doing or having Sammy's Y kind of being put into an event that's going to continue on helping other kids, but really kind of having it come home to Warner Park and that special place for all of us. It was a pretty special kind of surreal moment last year when we're out on the field and just seeing the kids and seeing their excitement and the adults because the home run derby and the 5K is all ages. And so it's just, it was just a powerful kind of moment. We're really excited to have it there again this year.
I'm sure when you start a foundation like this, you have an idea of what it might become someday, or maybe you don't. I don't know how that goes. I've never started a foundation. But can you just sort of walk us through the process of when you started this thing, what you thought it was going to be and what it is today?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And you're right. We started the foundation very, not necessarily naive, but just of our whole goal was who's the next family that we can help and really just ensure that no kid, no family feels that they are by themselves or they're fighting this battle by themselves. And so really in that first 2 years, kind of at least my mentality was if we can at least help a couple of families, then that will feel great. And then making these connections with the community partnerships that we're able to kind of help now in Omaha, and looking to now where for the event, I just put together, kind of like a 16 by 20 of just a handful of the kiddos that we've been able to connect with. And in a short amount of time, we've been able to help over 70 families throughout the United States. And now with starting our podcast, the Sammy Strong On Deck Warrior Stories, and just creating that space for families to come on and just really take like that autonomy of like their story, the good and the bad with it, but really kind of creating that place for connection and giving that space to tell their stories. It's been really well received and being able to kind of take that next step for families.
Bet you didn't think you'd start a podcast when you started the foundation.
I did not. No, but it's been a great journey and just really powerful on a different level. Having families talk of like, this is the first time I've ever shared our story.
You might want to bring some tissues with you if you're going to check it out too. Just personal opinion, they cut some onions while they start telling these stories.
And Jimmy, I'm just going to say the first guest was awful, so skip first episode.
Yeah, fair enough. The editing's a little subpar too, and I apapologize about that.
It was a learning lesson.
We're catching up with Sarah Joe and Sammy Strong from the Sammy Strong Foundation here on the After Hours Lounge. We didn't mention it. So August 2nd at Warner Park, the Home Run Derby, the 5K, and the Home Run Derby both on the same day, starting at 9 a.m., correct?
The 1 mile fun run will start at 7:30, and then the 5K will start at 8, and then the Home Run Derby starts at 9. And how we're doing it this year for kind of a little bit better efficiency is for the Home Run Derby in particular, you're going to sign up for like the hour that you want to sign up. So it's different age groups. So a 10-year-old's not going to hit against a 40-year-old, but if you sign up, then you sign up for that hour and you're able to come. But even that is amazing. Half the fun is the kids love to come down and shag and like just be on the field while they're waiting for their turn. Joe had mentioned we have some great food trucks that'll be there. We have Traveling Tom Coffee. We have Big O Snow, and then we have Up and Smoke food truck that will be there to help in all different capacities.
If somebody wants to volunteer their time, can they still do that?
Yes, absolutely. So the best way to volunteer is one of two ways. One, same place. If you go to our website, GoSammyStrong.com and click on the event, it'll give you a prompt of like, I'd like to volunteer. And you're absolutely able to do that. Or if you want to email us or message us directly, we have a Sign Up Genius, and all the volunteers are needed to make it work.
All right, man, grab the microphone. You knew this was coming. Your Cubs are in a deadlock tie right now with the Milwaukee Brewers. You guys going to make the playoffs this year?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we're better than the Brewers.
Oh, okay. Good. Hey, what are you?
Uncle's gonna be mad.
You're obviously the face, or in this case, the back of the head of this whole thing. What are you most excited about for August 2nd?
That we get to hit and shag on Warner Park.
Paul Skeens has pitched in this park. If you got 1,000 pitches from Paul Skeens, do you think you could get a single hit?
No.
I don't think so.
Good answer.
Maybe in a couple
Smart kid.
of years. That is the Sammy Strong Foundation. If you want to donate your time or your efforts, you can do so at GoSammyStrong.com tonight. Guys, I appreciate you guys doing this. Thanks for being
so
here tonight.
much. Thank you guys.
If you missed their segment, check it out at on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by our friends over at Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. It's summer outside. I don't got to tell you that. Roll down your window. You could feel it outside right now. Did you know there's a sale going on at Jerry Ryan right now? 20 to 50% off all their summer goods. You want to be the best dressed guy on the golf course, head over to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, 78th and Dodge. They've been dressing Omaha for over 50 years. We buy or sell on several different topics, including cornhole. When we come back on 1620thezone.com.
Hey, everybody. John here for Timber Wood Fire Bistro. This is not just a lunch and dinner spot. This is an experience. When you walk in, you smell the wood fire grill, and you know that you are in for an absolute culinary experience. The open concept kitchen, the brunch menu on Saturday and Sunday, 9:30 to 2, happy hour 2 to 5:30. 84th and Pacific is the place. I'm telling you what, we got to try the timber pie last week. I was absolutely blown away. Salty, sweet, spicy, perfect little chew on the crust. It is one of the best pizzas in this town. I have no problem saying it. Everything at Timber is going to make your mouth explode with flavor. You should stop in and try the Milanese meatballs as well. 84th and Pacific for Timber Wood Fire Bistro.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Sunny, breezy, and hot into the evening with the temperatures in the 90s. Mostly clear tonight. Will drop back in the mid and upper 70s for a low. And then partly cloudy and hot and humid again for Tuesday. We look for high in the mid to upper 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot fieldhouse featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Life is unpredictable. With seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner, you can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with Trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Tell everybody, yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. I believe every lie that I ever told.
727 on a Monday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You know, become number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com for a free estimate. Tonight, Dan Campinen holds the keys to this city. Not really, but he has the keys to the show. So, Dan Campinen, you get asked by or sell tonight.
I can say, Jean never gave me a key. What the heck?
She out already? Just,
yeah, she's gone.
Yeah.
She gone.
John, 402-951-1620 if you'd like to give Dan the keys to the city.
Mr. Ewing.
I think Dan deserves the keys to the city for all the hard work he puts in here at Energy Media.
My question is always, what door does that unlock?
The door to the city.
Door to opportunity, Dan.
Ah. So what you're saying is it's bullcrap.
Yes, it's total crap.
Oh, well.
You get a parade, though.
You don't.
I mean, usually they have a parade if they're giving somebody the key to the city.
Either give me a key to the city or give me a day.
Whatever you spent on getting the key made, just give me the cash value, and we'll be fine.
I mean, those things
Fair.
are usually
I'll take that.
Not very heavy duty.
Yep.
Now on to
Don't
buy
care.
or sell. After reports came out that former Memphis defensive back Taj Rael released the Tigers defensive playbook to UTSA quarterback Owen McCown, several people, including the UTSA head coach and Jimmy's boy, Jeff Traylor, basically said it was blown out of proportion. Not a big deal. Buy or sell? This is a big deal.
So after having several conversations with a former co-host of mine, you can probably connect the dots, about people that are assigned to trying to catch signs or study play calling tricks, I don't think this is that big of a deal. I'm going to sell. I think that here's the other thing. We've also heard stories about Nebraska in the 90s that the offensive line was so good, they said, we're going to line up and run it right here, and you've got to stop us. Michael Irvin famously said, if you don't want to see us dance, you got to stop us from getting into the end zone. Does it give you a little bit of an advantage? Sure. I just don't know if it's the biggest deal in the world.
Here's why I buy that this is a big deal. You have a player on one team actively attempting to sabotage his own team.
Yeah.
That is a big deal.
I think this is a bigger deal for Memphis than the overall state of the sport.
And, well, let me just ask you this. Would you rather go into a game knowing the team's defensive calls or not knowing the other team's defensive calls?
Oh, obviously knowing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal.
What I'm saying is there might be some things like I don't think Connor Stallions is as taboo as people think it is. Maybe not to the standpoint that he's standing on the sidelines in shades, but like from a signal stealing standpoint or videotaping signs, I don't think that's as far-fetched as people would think it is if happening every Saturday.
The reason is that it is such a big deal is because they were blatant about it.
Fair enough.
They were absolutely out in the open doing this, like with the blessing of the entire football staff. It wasn't like a covert operation. They were doing this in the naked light of day.
I do think it's incredible that there's that picture of him just standing on the sideline. What else we got, Dan?
Well, I just want to say real quick for a little bit of background information. Yes, I buy. This is a big deal. Also, UTSA beat Memphis when they were ranked number 25 in the nation, 44-36. Not in El Paso, but at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. So it was a big game, and UTSA won. Obviously, there was something to it.
Why would they play in El Paso? You're thinking of UTEP.
I am thinking
University
of
of Texas, San Antonio.
I also was putting a lot. I was like, this shouldn't matter at all. Memphis should have whipped because I thought it was Utah.
Yeah.
It also wasn't played in Boston.
Not the Miners, the Roadrunners, Dan.
Also wasn't played in Boston, Massachusetts. We're just throwing cities out there. Also
You're telling me this
It was
wasn't
played in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
for no fair reason.
It'd be fun that way. Who really cares? We discussed North Carolina and the possibilities of leaving the ACC. If Bill Belichick can make UNC a playoff contender and North Carolina makes the jump to the SEC, buy or sell, Carolina automatically becomes a top 10 brand in college sports.
It's kind of hard to argue it. I mean, they're already a top 10 college basketball program. If you can get them into the discussion of being a top 12 college football program and you throw the Jordan brand factor into it, that's a pretty big monster that if they can get things rolling in Chapel Hill, it might be really hard to slow down.
I sell because Carolina is already a top 10 brand in college sports.
Wow. Okay.
Same here.
The colors, the tradition, the history, and like you just said, the Jumpman logo on all their gear. It is a top 10 brand in college sports already. That's why the SEC is interested. They want that Jordan money and all the Carolina fans.
He makes shoes.
I'm just going to say this because I agree with John. Walk into Shields once the college football season and college basketball seasons have begun and are underway, and just look behind that Husker sports section and see what the biggest college sections are outside of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. You will find that it is Iowa, Iowa State, and North Carolina, followed very closely by Duke.
I think if you have to caveat when basketball season happened, I don't think you could be a top 10 brand in college
I'm just pointing out that that's when all the college stuff goes out in Shields.
I think you're right.
Is that exact time of year.
I think you're right, but I think that's an important caveat. And because I mean they're clearly top 20. I don't know if I'm willing to put them top 10 without their football program being established where it should be to have that moniker.
All right, then by that same regard, go into that same Shields that's on 180th and Dodge.
More of a Dick's guy.
Me too, but whatever. But go in there.
Shields got a Ferris
Go
wheel?
see if you're looking. Go see if you can find any Alabama stuff. Go see if you can find any Auburn stuff. See how big that section is compared to the North Carolina section. I rest my case.
I'm going to Shields after I leave here. Just prove Dan wrong.
24/7 says North Carolina is not one of the top 25 brands in college sports.
That's what I'm saying. Like with the aspect of football not being really in the equation now. Listen, Bill Belichick may turn this around. That could change the narrative here.
No, that was football only. Sorry.
Oh, there you go. Problem solved. Dan, what's number 3?
Number 3, according to On3, DJ Lagway has been in a walking boot with a lower leg injury. Reports are that Lagway will have the boot off before the end of camp. Buy or sell, the Swamp Goers should be pushing the panic button.
Buy. I mean, this kind of feels like this season and Billy Napier's job is directly tied to how DJ Lagway performs this season.
Yeah.
And if he has a sophomore regression or a sophomore slump, it could be a new head coaching hire down in Gainesville. I think this is a huge deal. I massively buy.
Bye. If he has to miss significant time because of anything, I mean, look, it's Florida, so they should have a talented backup. They should have somebody that they can throw in there to replace him and be able to get by.
Still an SEC schedule, though.
But it is an SEC schedule, and you're talking about the number 2 quarterback in last year's class. So that's a big loss if he doesn't play. Now, obviously, we don't know anything about the injury. We've just seen the pictures of him in a boot.
Mm-hmm. We don't know what it's a boot.
I don't think it's time to press the panic button.
Real quick, at After Hours 1620 on Twitter, you can vote on our new poll. If you get the keys to the city, do you always get a parade too? Please let us know what you think. Dan?
Yeah, I would buy just in general because it seems like Florida is pinning a lot of their hopes on DJ Lagway so far. And without a driver in that car, I don't know how well you're going to be able to stay on the road. Moving on, South Carolina's women's basketball coach, Don Staley, has been participating in the American Cornhole League's Super Hole event, pairing her with a professional cornholer.
What are we doing?
Buy or sell, it's healthy for coaches to have side distractions.
I didn't know what I expected out of him with this question, but he didn't disappoint. I think it's incredibly healthy.
Super Hole.
But I think it's important to point out, like, Matt Rule has talked about this. Coaching at the top is very lonely in that spot. And if you're at a place where you can get away and it's healthy and constructive, I think it's needed. I think most coaches need this. I think it's very cool that Don Staley is doing this. She's playing very well too, by the way.
Yeah, she's good at cornhole.
Yeah, it's absolutely healthy. I mean, you need to live a full life, right? Like, to be a healthy, well-adjusted person, being obsessive is probably not a good idea, right? And most coaches are that. They are obsessive about one thing.
The whole process.
They are singular in their motivations. So if somebody, has a hobby to help them like just live a more well-rounded life, all for it. So be it.
Yeah. All the great coaches have had hobbies, whether it's Vince Lombardi going to church every single day of his life and taking confession and communion 7 days a week, which is super cool, apparently, if you're Catholic. George Halas just like helping to develop half of the city of Chicago in his downtime. It's something that, all professional coaches need to have some sort of a hobby outside of what they do. I mean, heck, are we going to rag on Matt Rule for going out and playing golf on Saturday?
We're doing it about the head coach at Auburn.
It's a slippery slope. Well, the head coach at Auburn is actually
does it all the time.
Do
we have a random Dan question tonight?
We actually do, because while we love to cover football media days,
we do.
Volleyball media days are happening right now. Pittsburgh and Nebraska will be one of our first treats of the season. Little do we know, we don't know what time they play at quite yet, but in the AVCA First Serve Showcase, Pittsburgh is going to take on Nebraska in a matchup from last year. Buy or sell, we see another Husker title run this year.
I think they are. If we're not talking about them anywhere near the Final Four, we're having a lot of questions about what went wrong between the transition between John Cook and Danny Busboom Kelly ended up being. With that being said, I think it's going to be flawless, and I think we're going to see that team is stacked this season. Also, that doesn't hurt. So yeah, I think Nebraska's got an absolute shot at making a Final Four run.
Nebraska wins the Big Ten and makes it to the national championship game. That's my prediction.
Buy hard on everything that the two of you just said.
If you missed Buy or Sell tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by our friends at Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. If you're starting to feel some humidity in your house, if your AC is not turning on when it's supposed to, there's probably a problem with your thermostat. Head over to controlledcomfort.com and have a maintenance appointment set up. They're going to come out, they're going to look at your thermostat, they're going to look at your AC, and they're going to take a look at your furnace. They're going to give you peace of mind about the warm and cold months in the state of Nebraska. Head over to controlledcomfort.com. Get peace of mind about your HVAC tonight. We'll be right back on the other side of the break. Matt Rule spoke today. What exactly did he say? We'll tell you. 1620 The Zone.
We're taking the back streets. You'll never know if you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow.
Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Bob Williams with Williams Law. If your son or daughters found themselves in a little bit of trouble, maybe they're hanging out with the wrong crowd, they got in trouble doing donuts in a parking lot, doing things that kids typically do, and if you get caught, you get in trouble for it and have to go to court. If you're in that situation, you have questions about your son or daughter's rights. Maybe you've never been inside of a courtroom and had to have a defense. Well, then Bob Williams with Williams Law is the lawyer for you. Him and his team will sit you down. They'll give you a free, no obligation legal consultation to explain your rights, walk you through the day in court, and make sure you're the right fit for Williams Law. And more importantly, that Williams Law is the right fit for you and your family. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight and get a free, no obligation legal consultation tonight.
This summer, skip the backyard hassle and let Pepper Jacks do the grilling for you. We're talking hot off the grill flavor. Philly sandwiches, rice bowls, nachos, and more made fresh and bitered up just how you like it. Whether you're fueling up after the game or grabbing a bite before you hit the pool, we got your summer craving covered. Dine in, carry out, or hit up the Pepper Jacks app. No flames at home? No problem. We're grilling all summer long. Pepper Jacks, where flavor takes the field.
Pepper Jacks Grill. Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Why waste happy hour at 3 when you can get late night happy hour at Goose's? From 8 to 10, stop in for $1 off draft beers and $1 off all appetizers. Stop by our location in historic downtown Papillion, where there's always something going on. Music bingo or the 25 wing challenge, where you eat 25 wings in 10 minutes and they're free. Ditch the same old happy hour for the late night experience at Goose's Bar and Grill, 129 North Washington in Papillion, where there's always something going on.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Goose's Bar and Grill is the best kept secret in Papillion. A dynamite menu, live events, and great drink specials. 129 North Washington Street is the place to be all summer long. $3 tacos on Monday, the biggest tenderloins you can find on Tuesday, and celebrate Wing Wednesday with after hours with $1 wings on Wednesday. Goose's Bar and Grill, 129 North Washington in Papillion. Open till 10 Monday through Friday and 2 a.m. on the weekends. Goose's Bar and Grill, where there's always something going on.
Heat waves are crashing all over the Midwest. Beat the heat with Controlled Comfort. If your AC is aging and you have concerns, Controlled Comfort is your one-stop shop for all your HVAC issues. Let Controlled Comfort's comfort specialists come out, diagnose your issue, resolve it, or replace that old AC unit with one that'll keep you cool in the months ahead. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Shut her down on a Monday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Over a decade of being number one in Omaha. It doesn't happen by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They could do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com. Get that free estimate tonight. Matt Rule spoke today after his team had their first fall camp practice. We alluded to some of the injuries that they opened up talking about. But when we talk about guys coming back healthy, like with Markham at tight end and Prohaska at left tackle, and he openly talked about, listen, this isn't the week to pay attention to injuries to. You got to get to this first week, and that second week after you take some time off is usually where those injuries start to pile up at. And it sounds like they're kind of starting to learn the progression of, we got to get these guys on the grass. We got to get them off the turf. We're doing all these things to try to keep our guys healthy. And Matt Rule talked about the grass today. It looks like Augusta out there. Our team has done such a good job of keeping up with everything that's going on to keep this grass in the best shape that it possibly can, that we talked about. Somebody's going to get hurt. And it feels like they're doing everything they can to try to make that not happen, as far as letting guys take time off, giving them the time to get back, making sure they're getting the right treatment, and putting the time in the facilities, not necessarily for recruiting standpoint, but from a safety standpoint as well.
Well, it goes back to the thing that he said at Big Ten Media Days about all the knee injuries that happened before they arrived. And it's some of the things with knee injuries you can't really prevent.
Yeah, some things just happen.
There are freak accidents, and especially in a contact sport like football, these things are going to happen.
And when bodies are just falling around feet.
But if you're not doing everything that you can do to help prevent those things, you are entirely mismanaging your football team. And it seems like they've taken a real targeted approach to injuries. Like it's more talk about injury prevention this offseason than I can ever remember hearing about in my years of following Nebraska football. Like, I've never heard a coach talk this much about preventing injuries.
Well, I mean, we kind of alluded to it at the beginning of the show when you have guys like Bly Hill, and we just talked about Teddy Prohaska. Those are two guys that were factored in to be major impact players at least one season the time that they've been in Lincoln. And then when something just frequently happens with a knee that's happening away from the ball and it's completely preventable, you got to start looking at the reasons why this is happening and see if you can kind of make sure that everything's being put in place to prevent that for your future guys, as well as the guys that are coming back. The one thing that kind of stood out to me today that Matt Rule talked about, though, is he mentioned about lining up issues, and that they had issues lining up against UCLA, and they had issues lining up against Ohio State. And they're basically going to line up every day and just practice lining up until they can't get it wrong. And he said it like he was kind of shocked that he had to do this. And I wonder if that's more of a state of where college football is, and the day and age of the TikTok, Twitter, phone in your hand, 7-on-7, changing of the guard, not lining up smash mouth style football to where you do have so many pieces moving around the field, that this is something that probably everybody around the country should be doing. Or is this a problem in Nebraska?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's such a schematic advantage. Like if you can identify where a team is misaligned and you can attack that portion of the field, there's basically, outside of freakish athleticism, it's hard to overcome being poorly aligned. Like that's football. Yeah. If you're not in the right spot at the snap of the ball, you're 2 steps behind.
And maybe even more importantly, if you're a quarterback, you can draw a line down the middle of the field and go, hey, there's 6 guys on the right. You should probably go to the left, and identify where the blitz. Yeah. So it's not even necessarily like Matt Rule is speaking from a defensive standpoint, because that's where he spends the most of his time. But I guarantee you, Dana Holgorsen was running 2-minute drills today as well for the offensive side of things. I promise you that was an emphasis in that situation too. Hey, if it's down distance here, if there's this much time on the clock, this is where you need to be. This is where more importantly, you don't need to be. And let's make sure we know that.
And 2-minute defense as well, because you don't have as much time to sit there and survey and think about it. And am I actually in the right spot? It has to be muscle memory. Like he was saying, it has to be a point where you can't possibly line up wrong, because it's just embedded in everything that you are on the football field to be in the right place.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago, but how many times has Nebraska not only given up a play on third down, but a big play? Or you're in a 3rd and 4 situation, you're giving up 17 yards. A lot of that is just misalignment and somebody being in the wrong place, and they blocked it the right way. Which, who was that we were talking? Was it Coach Martin we had in there the night? It was like, hey, you can block it. Or no, it was Jay Landstrom. Who was like, you can block it up and scheme it the right way, but if somebody doesn't go where you're supposed to.
When you draw it on the whiteboard, the arrow always goes to the end zone.
Yeah, it's always 6 points. But there's so many moving parts, and a lot of what offensive coaches are doing are just trying to get you to stand in the wrong part of the field and taking advantage of it. And when we talk about the development of Dylan Raiola and him releasing the running back out and everything that went into that Matt Rule talked about last week, that's why it's the next level. We could scheme it up, but also if they line up where we don't want them to, we don't have to throw half the playbook out of the window, and we could actually get somebody to get the arrow to the end zone. So it's putting those nuances in and practicing and repping them. Let's get in an uncomfortable situation, so when that situation arises, we can respond and adapt accordingly.
But it's also not just focusing on the macro, right?
Right. Great point.
Because you can get caught up in, yards per play, points per game. What do we need to do from an efficiency standpoint? This set of plays, this defensive alignment, this scheme. How are we going to run it on, third down against trip? Like, you can get all into that stuff, but still, the game is about blocking, tackling, and lining up in the right spot, like at the fundamental level. And to hear him come out and say, like, yeah, we're still focusing on these things. We're trying to do the little things right, which is like, that's so good to hear, man. Like,
because I think a lot of people just assume at this level,
right?
It's you could probably just roll the football out, and guys know if you're lining up trips, you need 3 defensive backs on that side of the field. Sometimes people aren't paying attention. You need to help them out a little bit. Now, I will say this: if this is still a conversation as we get through fall camp, that hey, we're trying to get lined up in this set, and so didn't know.
If we're still talking about it once the season starts, we have to have another conversation.
What did you like? We talked about it in the beginning, but the coaching. This has been a theme of the Matt Rule era: is the coaches and the players move into the dorm rooms.
Yep,
and we've talked about it. It's been a very quiet offseason. Are you worried at all? I don't know if worried is the right word, but is there any part of you concerned that they have this situation? They're letting the players police it because of the ongoings that have happened in Lincoln with players being out of control? Or do you think this group has it buttoned up?
Honestly, at this point, I'll be surprised if there's any major trouble out of fall camp. Just because it certainly seems like we've turned that page, and the discipline and the accountability seems to be built in now. It seems like we've gotten past all that stuff. And look, there are going to be outliers, because anytime you've got a group of 115 18 to 25-year-olds,
shenanigans will be had.
Somebody is just statistically going to do something dumb. That's going to happen. So yes, somebody's probably going to get into a little bit of trouble, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be.
Let's hope this is a running stare situation,
issue,
not a police situation.
Like if one person on the team gets in trouble, okay, that person got in trouble. If 7 people on the team get into some trouble with the law, we have a problem. I don't think it's going to be a problem.
We made it through Vegas, and we made it through an entire day of fall camp before somebody finally asked about single-digit numbers. And Matt Rule said, listen, I don't have anything to do with that. We let the players vote on it. We don't ask the coaches to get involved. We don't change the voting. We let them handle that. And he was specifically asked about who he wants to see on that list. He didn't answer that question. He's like, well, I don't really love seeing my quarterback on that list. I want the guys that are up front doing the dirty work and that are setting the tone from a toughness standpoint. And it's been alluded to and kicked around. 15 isn't a single-digit number. What is it? And it kind of looked like he grabbed a bone and kind of threw one to his quarterback here in this situation. With that being said, I am going to be intrigued to see who is on this list from a standpoint of you knew the guys that came back and stuck around and were 6th-year guys. You knew what Ty and Nash and those guys brought to the equation. Who are designated as the leaders on this team, and who are taking care of things in the dorm and passing on the punishments and holding people accountable? Because that's what this list is going to be. I'm really intrigued to see who this is. And based on that answer, I'm not going to be that surprised if Dylan Riley is not on it.
I have not thought that he was going to be on it from the beginning, and
really?
we talked about it. Like I just don't think
he needs to be.
I don't think he needs. Like, he's the quarterback. Of course, he's a leader.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's just a foregone conclusion that he's going to be one of the leaders of the team. That's how that works. So the guys, I think you're going to see probably a guy like a Deshaun Singleton.
Yep,
is going to come. Is going to be on that list. Probably one of the wide receivers like a Dane Key, who's an older vet who's probably guiding that room. I would imagine he's going to be on there. A dude like a Luke Lindenmeyer, who's a grinder, has a chance to be on that list. Up front, like,
could you see it as a or as a negative in any way if Vincent Shavers or Willis McGahee is on that list?
No, I mean, I think because it's voted on by the team,
Yeah.
I think that's going to tell you what the team thinks about them.
Right, but from a standpoint of, those guys are underclassmen. We said Dylan, but he's the quarterback, so he just kind of fits into that into that stigma. So that those two guys, like specifically Vincent Shavers, like I pointed out today, on film it looked like he was dictating where the defense was lining up and things like that. So if he comes out and he's on this list, I think it tells you that you should probably expect a big season out of that guy specifically, because he kind of was there from a talent standpoint last year, and obviously he was a freshman, so there was still a little bit left to be desired. But if his body is there as a sophomore and his leadership is there as a sophomore, and we know he's a playmaker, kind of feels like the sky's the limit for him. Hey, if you missed any of the show tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by AX Plumbing. Home or residential, they can do it all. Check out axpservice.com for all your plumbing, water heater, gas piping, or backflow prevention issues. AX Plumbing is locally owned and operated. They'll leave your home or business cleaner than they found it. Check out axpservice.com for more details today. If you have big plumbing problems, they've got big plumbing solutions with their financing available at the website as well. Check out axpservice.com tonight. For Dan Campen and John Schreiner, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Milk Chocolate Day, everybody.
Take two, they're small.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot fieldhouse featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price